I'm 48, and the hormone that gave me back my sleep, my sex drive, and my face is the one that my doctor laughed at me for asking about. I love getting older, and I fucking hate aging. My skin got clearer. It had this glow that I hadn't seen in years. Like, I swear to God, you guys, sometimes I feel like my comment section is like the island of misfit toys. A man in my comments asked me if testosterone made my I'm 48, and the hormone that gave me back my sleep, my sex drive, and my face is the one that my doctor laughed at me for asking about. Like I'd asked for a pony instead of a hormone. That hormone was testosterone. Now, today I am giving you the 10 things that I wish that man had said to me instead of laughing. I'm going to give you exactly what it did for me once I finally got it. We'll talk about every scary thing you've heard about it and why it's all lies. And I'm going to share with you the thing that it did to my face that I genuinely did not see coming. Hey friends, I'm Cynthia Garcia, your foul-mouthed fairy godmother. Listen, I grew up dirt poor in Appalachia. I dumpster dived for makeup, and I got called ugly enough times that I actually started to believe it. Then I made some money and I spent it figuring out how to be hot as fuck at any age. This is I'd Like to Thank Myself, the show where I try every peptide, procedure, and product so you don't have to, and then I tell you what's worth it and what to leave where you found it. Now, quick disclaimer before we go any further, I cuss a lot. That's just how I talk. Now, if that's not for you, that's cool, but this is your stop. And if you stay, don't talk shit in the comments. Don't try to get me to change how I say things because I just fucking warned you. And if you are staying, grab a drink because we have got some shit to talk about. So this is an episode that I'd never thought I would do. My background is in clinical nutrition. I trained health practitioners for over 16 years, and I was still completely lost when it came to balancing my hormones. So years ago, when I just noticed that things started feeling off, I didn't know what to do about it. I remember I was at dinner with a friend and I was just telling her what's going on. Like I couldn't sleep. I'm waking up in the middle of the night. I'm so hot sometimes. And she says, maybe it's your hormones. And I was like, absolutely the fuck not. Like, what? I was too young for that. What was she talking about? I was not too young. I was just a dummy thinking that I knew something. By the end of the dinner, she's like, here's my doctor's name. Here's his number. Take it. Great. So I go home and I do enough internet research just to make me dangerous. You know the kind, right? You probably have done it. And I learned about all the things like the sex hormones, estrogen, progesterone, and the one that nobody had said shit to me about, which was testosterone. I mean, obviously, I've heard of testosterone. I knew like men had it, bodybuilders had it in abundance. That was great. But the thing that floored me is the first thing on this list. So number one is the fact that nobody told me. And the fact is testosterone is the most abundant sex hormone in a woman's body. See, I know, act surprised, Susan. It's like, wait, what? Not progesterone, not estrogen, testosterone. We carry 10 to 20 times more of it than estrogen our entire lives. I know, right? And we've been raised to think that it's a man's hormone. It is not. Now, do men have more of it? Of course they do, but they don't own it. They just found the one doing all the heavy lifting, the hormone doing all the heavy lifting, and went, yeah, that's men's. I mean, that's just such a classic thing, right? But the thing is, it's been running the show in our bodies the entire time, and not one doctor, not one issue of Cosmo ever bothered to mention it. Now, I want you to hold on to that fact because here's what happened when I walked into a doctor's office and asked for the hormone that I just told you is the most abundant one in your body. You ready for this? I don't think you're ready. So I go in to that first appointment, right? And I am informed, at least I think I am. I'd had my blood work done. I sit down and he starts talking and I could tell he's just got other places to be, but you know what? Fine. Doctors don't have a lot of time with you. Cool. So he says to me, maybe I can give you a little progesterone to help you sleep at night. I don't really want to give you estrogen because it causes cancer. Yeah. And so then, knowing that he didn't ask about testosterone, I said, well, what about testosterone? This motherfucker laughed. He laughed. A doctor laughed in my face for asking about the most abundant hormone in my motherfucking body. Like I had walked into a bakery and ordered a steak. Like, what? And it wasn't a polite laugh. It was a real caught off guard laugh. And then still half laughing, he goes, well, you want to lift weights or something? No, sir. I just want to sleep through the. Okay. He figured, I still get mad over this conversation. He figured the only reason on earth a woman could possibly be asking about testosterone is if she's trying to get jacked at the gym. Not one time did he stop and think, let me just look at her levels. I've got her blood work right here. He didn't say, tell me why you think your testosterone is low. What's going on? Nothing, just nothing. So now I'm sitting here thinking, did I get this all wrong? Clearly, I'm a dumbass, right? Like he's the doctor. I don't know anything. I came to him. So I'm embarrassed and I'm annoyed as fuck because, who laughs at a patient with real concerns? But I just thought, I got this all wrong. I'm an idiot. I got to get out of here. And I ended up leaving that appointment with nothing. I was like, well, I don't want cancer. No, thank you. And I was so embarrassed. I was over it. I was just like, I'm so done with this. But what I know now that I didn't know then is that I actually know exactly what I was talking about. And in fact, he was the idiot. And his laugh cost me 2 years of my life. And we'll get to those 2 years. That's number 6. And it's the part that gets me every time. But first, I want to talk about the reason that he felt so safe laughing. The fears, or as I like to call them, the lies, because I know you've heard them. Okay, so number 2 on this list, and the first lie I want to get rid of is the beard. No, taking testosterone will not make you grow a beard. Some women ask me that dead serious. And honestly, it's a fair question because that's the picture that we've all been handed. But the beard, the deep voice, all that horror movie stuff, we're talking testosterone at bodybuilder doses, right? What I'm talking about for me, for women, is a small amount to put back what your body used to make and then quit. Nobody's prescribing you a goatee. You are not going to wake up looking like Uncle Gary. So listen, if it were me, I'd let a doctor who actually knows hormones read your blood work and set the dosing from there. All right, number 3 is the muscles. Let me be clear. You are not going to build crazy muscles from testosterone replacement therapy. I wish it were that easy to just get jacked. A woman said to me that she was scared that she'd blow up with big, bulky, manly muscles. Like she'd just wake up one morning able to bench press her own husband. And I get it. Like I don't want to look like that either. I get it. But you have to understand that women who bodybuild train for years and eat like it's their second full-time job. A replacement dose of your own hormone, it's not going to do that. But what it can do is help you hold on to the muscle and the strength that's been quietly walking out the door since your late 30s. Now, that's not bulking up. That is just me refusing to get weak because some chart says it's time. Now, those concerns are tame compared to the one I'm about to tell you about, okay? Number 4 is the one that everyone is too afraid to ask. So, true story, a man in my comments asked me if testosterone made my clitoris get bigger. Sir, we've never met. And that's your opening question. Like, I swear to God, you guys, sometimes I feel like my comment section is like the island of misfit toys, right? Like you've got the guy who still dresses up like G.I. Joe and like camo and army fatigue because those were his glory days. And then you've got the woman who's like a doll, but one eye's gone a little wonky because she had too much filler, even though I told her to not get it and she fucking did anyway. You get it. Island of misfit toys. But I digress. The point is, G.I. Joe over here is asking me about my clitoris. So here's the deal, Joe. At the doses women actually take to put back what they've lost, nothing down there is changing. The stories that you've heard come from way higher doses than any good doctor is handing a 48-year-old woman who just wants to sleep at night and not cry at a paper towel commercial. Testosterone is the most abundant sex hormone in your body, as I said. And a guy in the comments knows more myths about it than most doctors, which is honestly the entire fucking problem. So that's number 4. I know, sit with that. Let it soak in. There's one fear left, and that fear is the raging bitch myth. I know. Here's what I want to tell you. Testosterone will not turn you into a raging bitch. That's just how you are normally. Testosterone's got nothing to do with it. I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm kidding. Mostly. You know how you get sometimes. I'm just saying. But that is not testosterone's fault. So the fear that nobody says out loud is that gym monster angry person one, right? Like, won't I turn mean? Won't I be screaming at some barista over oat milk? Here's the part we all got backwards. The hormone that everyone's scared will turn them into a monster, not having enough of it is what made me one. The rage that I had hauled around for 2 years was making me run on empty, white knuckling it through every single day. And putting that hormone back is what calmed me the fuck down. I'll show you what I mean later, and it's the opposite of what you'd guess. So those are the fears, right? The beard, the muscles, the clitoris that looks like a tiny penis, and you turning into a raging monster. All of it is wrong. All of it is just lies that you have been told. So now let's get into what testosterone actually did for me when I finally got it. Okay, real quick. So sorting through the fears and the myths and really understanding the truth, finding the doctors who will actually run your labs and give you what you need, that's exactly what we do every single day inside the Vanity Club. It's where the women who got laughed at compare notes instead of believing some guy in the comments. So if you're sick of being told you're fine and your levels are normal when you know you're not fine, come and find us. The link is in the description. All right, now, here's what nobody's scared of, but it's the one that actually robbed me. Not like pew pew, it's a stick up robbery, not that kind. Number 6 is what I lost. So I don't want you to hear all that myths busting and think, well, if the scary stuff isn't real, what's the rush? I got plenty of time. I'll get to it eventually. Here's the rush. Sleep. Not bad sleep, not tired sleep. I'm talking about 3 a.m, eyes wide open, heart racing, for no apparent reason. Every motherfucking night. You start doing the math on how many hours you have left before you have to be a functional human being, right? And that's just your sleep. We haven't even talked about your mood, which isn't sadness. It's not really depression exactly. It's just flatter than that. Like the volume on your own life got turned down about 3 notches and you can't find the remote. You're still showing up. You're still doing the things, right? But it's kind of like there's this layer of glass between you and all of it. And you just keep pressing your hands against it, trying to feel warm, trying to feel anything, but you don't. And then there's your face. And I'll get to that in just a minute. But this feeling that I can only describe as a cloud comes over you when your levels are just not where they need to be. It's just kind of heavy. It's like settled across your shoulders. And it had been there so long for me that it just felt like, well, that's who I am now. Like just getting older, just calming the fuck down. It's just fine. Everything is fine. It was not fine. So I did 2 years of 3 a.m. math, 2 years of pressing my hands against the glass, 2 years of that cloud. And not one person told me it had a name on a blood panel and a prescription that I could take. Listen, I've said this before, but I'll say it again. I love getting older and I fucking hate aging. Both of those can be true at the same time. And I want to be clear because people like to put words in my mouth. I don't know why. Same fucking reason they comment dumb shit in my comments. I love these years. I am so grateful for every single one of them. But the decline that they hand you with a smile and call it normal for your age, that can go straight to hell. Anyone who tells you that you have to choose between those two things, loving the years and not loving the aging process, is just lying. So no, I will not be doing this gracefully. And the part that gets me, while all of this was happening, I thought it was normal. And I had no idea how bad it had gotten until it was actually gone, until I actually was able to do something about it. All right, listen, if you've ever walked out of a doctor's office feeling like you're the crazy one, then I would say subscribe because that is this whole channel. I go figure stuff out, I get laughed at so you don't have to, and I come back here and tell you the truth. So if you like that kind of thing, then I would say subscribe because I am here helping you get hot as fuck every Tuesday. All right, now we're at number 7, and this is where the story starts to turn around. So my symptoms after those 2 years had finally gotten so bad that I stopped just trying to explain them away. Stopped telling myself that I was the dummy. You know, the sweats, the 3 a.m., all of it. So I found a doctor who actually gave a shit. Step number 1. She listened, she ran the labs, and she wrote the prescription that first dude laughed at. And the first night I took it, something happened that I never saw coming. The very first night I took testosterone. I know I'm being very dramatic about it, but it was a big fucking deal because I slept through the night for the first time in 2 years, which is honestly faster than it should have worked, granted. And I don't know if it was the testosterone. I don't know if it was just my body finally exhaling. Maybe it was just knowing that someone had finally listened to me and that I was going to be okay. I don't give a single mouse fuck what it was. I slept. And when I woke up, it was light outside. And then I cried. I did. A little bit, happy tears, because before, light used to mean that I'd already been awake for hours. Another night of waking up at 3 a.m. that I had managed to survive. But that light that morning meant that I had slept all night long. For the first time in, I couldn't even remember how long. It was just like my body had finally let go of something it had been holding on to so tightly for 2 years. And then the benefits just kept going. The weight that I had gained started coming off, my energy came back, and my sex drive, which hadn't just left the building, it had moved to a different state, changed its name, and stopped answering my calls, that came back too. And that heavy thing, remember I told you about that heavy cloud thing? It finally lifted. It was kind of like this big giant fur stole with the animal still attached that I didn't even know I had put on. It was gone. And I just couldn't believe that I had spent 2 years dealing with this shit. So that brings us to number 8, the one that I did not see coming, the one that is why I look better at 48 than I did at 40. So I did not start taking testosterone for my fucking face. I took it for my sleep and my sanity, my overall health and well-being. But the longer I was on it, after weeks and months, I started to notice my skin was changing. So it got thicker, not puffy, but just thick, the way young skin is that thick, firm, bouncy thing that you don't even know you have until it's gone. My skin got clearer. It had this glow that I hadn't seen in years. And the texture that I had been fighting, trying to get rid of, all those little rough spots and areas, they all smoothed right out. The fine lines softened. I went looking for energy in my sex drive, and I accidentally got my face back too, which was a pretty good deal for me. And here's the part that normally people don't connect. You can spend 10 grand on the outside or more. The lasers, the serums, all of it. But if your hormones aren't right, you're just filling a leaking bucket. Just add it to the pile of shit that nobody tells you. I'll wait. So that's number 8. Now, as good as all those changes were, the biggest one didn't hit me until months later when I stopped and looked back. So number 9 is the rage I didn't know I had. So I talked a little bit about this earlier. I thought weeks 2 and 3 of me being on this was the good stuff. I was feeling myself. Life was good. I'm looking good. I'm wanting to celebrate me looking good with my husband. You know, you get it. But those weeks, they were nothing. Month 3 and 4 is when it really hit me. You know, you don't notice the cloud lifting while it's lifting, right? You don't notice that. You notice it about 3 months later when somebody cuts you off in traffic and you just let it go. And you think, wait a minute, why am I okay right now? And then you go back through the last 3 months in your head, the sleep, the face, the fact that everyone around you is still breathing. And then it hits you. You've been living inside a version of yourself that was not you. I was for 2 years, and I didn't even know because it came on so slowly, so quietly, the way everything that matters in your life does. Again, the way a cloud settles, and you don't know it's there until the day it actually lifts and the sun is shocking. And remember that rage that everybody's so afraid that testosterone gives you? You know, I mentioned mine. I said I'll tell you about this a little bit later. Mine was from running on empty, and putting the hormone back is what finally took me down to where I felt normal again. And when that fog lifted, that cloud lifted, I didn't hate everybody anymore. Most people, I want to be honest, I don't like a lot of people, but not everybody. Like that's a great thing. And so it wasn't just that for those 2 years I, lost some sleep. I lost being myself because one man laughed instead of doing his fucking job. Which brings me to the last thing on this list, and this is number 10, and it is by far the most important one, so stay with me. Number 10 is find a doctor who won't laugh at you. The only reason I sat down here today and told you any of this, the fact that, nobody mentions all these fears like the clitoris, the rage, the years that you lose by people not giving you what you actually need just to feel normal and fucking stable in your own body, all of that. I told you all of this because somewhere right now, there's a woman lying awake at 3 a.m. doing the math until she has to get up, believing that the doctor who told her this shit was normal was right. So if that's you, I just need you to hear me. You're not crazy. You're not too young. You're not too old. You're not just being dramatic. The thing that I want you to take away from all of this is find a doctor who won't laugh at you. That's the whole thing. Not a doctor who thinks you're too young, and not a doctor who thinks testosterone is just for men who want to lift weights at 55. A doctor who will look at your actual blood work, who will listen to your actual symptoms, and not send you home with nothing because your question made them uncomfortable. You're not asking for a pony. You're just asking for the hormone that's been running your body for your entire life. So on that note, a toast. So raise a glass. I want you to do the toast with me. This is you thanking yourself too. I'd like to thank myself for doing enough research to be dangerous before I ever sat in that chair. For asking for the hormone anyway, even though I got laughed at for doing it. For saying the word clitoris out loud in a video because some dude on my Instagram felt it was totally fine to say it. So fuck it, let's make it fine. For having the courage to go back again and ask for what I needed so I could sit here and encourage you to do the same. For the sleep, the weight loss, the sex drive, and not hating everybody. Still most people, but not everybody. To the woman who slid me her doctor's name and started all of this without even knowing it. And to the version of me sitting in that office feeling like the dumbest woman alive, love, you were right the entire time. And to every woman who got laughed at and believed them, we're done believing them. So to who we were, to who we are, and to the hottest fuck versions of ourselves we are becoming. For that and so much more, I'd like to thank myself. Cheers. So good. So good. I wonder if that doctor is still practicing. I wonder what happened to him. I wonder. Okay.